So, here's a question about human evolution that everybody seems to be interested in one way or another. Or, at the very least, people like me are interested in human evolution. Okay, now. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. And the thing is that you gotta understand one thing. If there's been a common phenomenon throughout history, that is, or throughout evolutionary history, that is, when a species has, pretty much all of the food intake to their disposal, they will inevitably evolve to be larger. Like elephants, for example. Many elephants are giant. In fact, many herbivores and such are pretty big beasts. And reason being for this is because food is everywhere. You're a plant eater, you're going to find food everywhere. So yeah. It's more or less how the logic goes. The same can be said about predators. Reason why some alligators and crocodiles and such, as well as lions, tigers, bears, and the like, is large, is because their prey items are large, and they can eat a lot of meat. Well, in many developed countries, in many developed countries, suspect within the next, I guess 1,000 years or so, giganticism, whatever it's called, due to a increase of food, depending on whether or not if we have a famine or not within the next 50 to 100 years, which could hamper this entire concept. Not only that, but a potential, if we were to have 1,000-year famine, then that would pretty much cause people to shrink instead of increase in size. So, anywho, but at the end of the day, food dictates more or less size. Like food, water, air, you name it, dictates size. Let's see here. And then, of course, sexual preferences dictates, how an organism looks. And, of course, and, not only that, but environment dictates, who survives, to reproduce, more or less. So, with that said, with the sexual preference in modern day society being, more or less a increase in muscular men, more fertile looking people, put it more precisely, in one way or another, due to obviously pornography and such, I would not be surprised if people in the future would have these, traits more exaggerated and such. So, yeah. With that said, okay. Anywho, with that said, I will not be surprised if within the next, 1,000 years, humans would just simply look, the same. Like, and I mean, damn near exactly the same. Within the next 1,000 years, because preferences don't really change all that much. Like, oh, but what about the environment? Well, we've created an environment that is built around humanity, and we are no longer evolving, based on the environment. So there's that. In fact, we're forcing the environment to evolve around us. So it's kind of hard to adapt to an environment as, being forced to adapt around us. So, yeah. But that's my thoughts on the entire matter of human evolution. We won't change within the next 1,000 years. Not by much. And if we do, then, then for better or worse, humans 1,000 years from now would probably have high metabolisms to compensate with, either high metabolisms or, larger bodies to compensate for the increased amount of food, or smaller bodies and, slower metabolisms to compensate for the lack of food, depending on whether or not if we have a severe famine in the near future or not. So, yeah. But you can bet, however, that our, bodies will inevitably become more adapted and more in tune to be bipedal. That's for definite, that's for certain. But that's all I have on the topic, so got any questions, got any recommendations of what to talk about or what to show, post it down in the comments below. And if it's if I can do it in, relative budget, yeah. So, and an update on my life, by the way, something I haven't done in a long while. To those who been watching my YouTube video for the last 2 or 3 years and remember me having a job at one time or another, I don't have a job anymore. Mainly because, well, personal reasons. Gonna leave it at that. I wasn't fired, nor did I quit, and, and I have tried getting it back and such, but let's just say things got in the way of the job and such. So I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to put it beyond that, and I don't feel the need to go in deeper detail. So, but I am looking for another job to the best of my abilities.